Good morning, everybody. Today is June 21st, 2023, and it is 3,000 degrees outside. And we are praying for rain, but hey, you know what? We've got rain and it'll come in time. So, welcome to today's Wednesday new agent training. I appreciate y'all jumping on here. I know the last couple of weeks it's been a little hectic. So I really appreciate y'all jumping on today and listening. And I've got this recorded. So I'm going to look over here. If y'all haven't found it yet, we've got the chat box over here, and our Raul has already found it. I'm going to type hello over here. But if you have any questions, you can put it over there. And or if you're driving and you don't have the ability to text and drive, which we should never do. But anyways, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. So I want this to be interactive. And today we have a special guest with us. It's joined on Mr. Stephen Lowry. I don't know if he can hear us or see us or whatever it may be, but he is the man with the plan down in Southeast United States. I'll just leave it at that. He runs the whole place. Can you see him in his office over there? Look at him, how beautiful he is and hot and cool he is. Look at that guy. So he is not only my friend, my buddy, number one, number two, but he also runs the Southeast for Security National Life. So, Stephen, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, sir. Thanks for letting me join and learn something from you. I appreciate it.
Hey, absolutely. I can't teach you anything. You wrote the book, but anyways, so we'll jump in here. But here's Stephen and I. We work together, and we just want to be able to bring y'all the tools and the procedures, and we want to be able to support you. Listen, we're not your bosses. We don't own you. We work together with you, and we actually work for you, and we're here to get y'all anything you need to protect that family. So anyways, any way we can help, and if you ever have anybody in the Southeast or anywhere, I believe Stephen's down in the Louisiana area, okay, John, down in there. So it's great food, and glad to have you on, Stephen.
About 104 degrees right now. It's horrible.
What? Oh, whew, it's hot, hot, hot. So, well, today, hey, I've been in the business. My name is Keelan Johnson again. I've been in business or insurance business for 23 years now, all the way from farmers insurance to life and health to financial to property and casualty. And so I say that to say this is now with Security National since 2016, and we protect families. And that's what we're here to help you do. We're here to help you protect families. And at the end of the day, it's all about when that funeral happens, where are you going to be? Are you going to be on the front pew shaking that hand of that family because you protected them? Or are you going to be on the back pew going, golly, I wish I would have, and I wish I could have, and I wish I had enough information or knowledge or guts to do it? But we want you to be able to do that. So I'm going to give you today some resources. Number one, I want to focus on jumping through our web app to make sure you clearly have the ability to go in and confidently go into the web app and write somebody a policy, even if you're with them at the table and you like using your computer. And just a little teaser, we have a new process coming out to where if you like to use your tablets or a computer that you can touch screen, we're going to have a paper application, which is what we do kind of the old school way, but paper application, which we can still use. So if you want to go write paper, I love paper applications because I make mistakes and I like being able to scribble it and change it. But if we're doing something over the phone, we got to be able to type it in and then talk to the company. But we're going to be able to use that process going forward. We got a lot of new things coming down the pipeline for you to make it easier for you to do business. And we're super excited about that. A new product that covers our 0 to 40. And then we just launched our product that covers 40 to 90, which is called the loyalty plan. And you should be thankful because it has a lot of opportunities in there that we did not have before. And I'll show you some of those today as we go through the application. So today I've got a little homework for you. And Tom, you've got a question. Go ahead. Oh, Tom's clapping. All right. I like it. Look, Tom's got his little clapper going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the 0 to 40 is definitely going to be a game changer. That's it.
That's what we're going to have, and a new plan there for the 0 to 40. It's going to come out at Guardian. It should be out any day now, and we hope it'll come out in the next 10 seconds. but that'll go up just like our loyalty plan. We've increased it to 50,000. That's going to go up to hit 25,000 and hit our younger people that want a little bit more coverage, the mothers and the fathers. And then that way, because here's our idea. We want you to be able to cover 98% of the people that you talk to. That's just our goal, 98%. So we know that 1 out of every 2 people need us. And so if we can take the 1 out of 2 need us and we can cover 98% of the people, then, it'll be over. Game over. All right. So you'll be successful and you can protect families. So here's some tools for you before we get into the app. I want y'all to be able to use these things. Number one tool that we use and that I use is my toolbox right here. It's called Final Expense Life.us. So if you're driving, of course, this is recorded. I'm going to go into the chat box. I'm going to copy this in here and I'm going to send it to everyone. Okay. So that's finalexpenselife.us. So if you want to open that up now, save it to your home screen, write it down. This is your tool. So when you go work on your car, when you bake your cake, when you work at your house, this is your toolbox. So I am in the business to provide you the easiest way and that I know to be able to go get a tool and find it. When I clean out my garage, I have 74 screwdrivers. But when I'm working on a job, I can't find one. And so it's just that way. It's like, golly, why do I have so many pairs of pliers? Because I usually get lazy and go to the store and buy one versus looking underneath the box or something like that. So I want it to be easy for you. So this is a toolbox, and I'm going to take a big flyby on this just to show you what's in here. Number one, when you jump in here, the first thing is the weekly recorded training. So if you click right here, this is going to take you to my YouTube channel. And I've been recording videos in here for over a year now. There are videos from everything nearly before I had gray hairs, but 2 years ago, I've been doing this. So here's the thing. It's your business. You're the entrepreneur, and I want to be able to provide you the tools. So if you'll look at some of the titles here that I've recorded in the past, how to underwrite the loyalty, how to navigate the agent portal, completing the application, the power of 5. I strongly suggest you watch the power of 5. I'm really big on that this year. And basically what that tells us is that if we wake up every morning and we talk to 5 people and we document it and we write it down and we follow back up, your success will be super high. Power of 5, the 5 ball. Branding yourself, overcoming objections. So again, find me on YouTube. I know you have some time. I know you watch Facebook. I know y'all watch videos. I know it. So if you're bored to death, watch one of mine. So anyways, jump on that YouTube channel. There's some good resources in there. I think it will help you find. And here's the thing. We all think that we know it all. I do. I think I know it all. My kids sure know it all. But when you go back to elementary and you get in 1st and 2nd grade, it never hurts to visit that class again and go back and get your Crayolas in there and learn how to do that again. Because in the end, all we do is provide a whole life policy that protects people. You pay one premium, you've got one face amount, and when they pass away, the beneficiary gets it and uses it. It's that simple. There's nothing else in there other than it provides security, guarantees, opportunity, a few opportunities in there with some cash values, some things that we'll talk about later. But at the end of the day, it's just that question of, hey, you're going to pass away, right? We're all going to pass away unless there's some secret sauce, and I want to know it. Well, I don't know if I want to live forever. But anyways, that we have. So write the YouTube video down too. Please go and find a topic that you want to know about. Again, I'm not promoting that I want to train you by video, but if I've already talked about it and you want to know about it, it's a great resource. So we're all entrepreneurs. We all run our own business. We all tie our own shoes and put our own heels on. I don't put heels on anymore, but tie my shoes. Anyway, so jump on that. That's another resource. Again, back to the box. You're going to find out that we sell policies in person. We sell policies over the phone. I've got you a rate calculator in there. I suggest you jump through these tools. There's some great tools in here. Listen, all your new tools are in here. I've got your underwriting rate books. You can look up your prescriptions, your medicines, the new one in there. Your height and weight charts are right there for you. Your referral form to ask for is right here. I've got some appointment settings and objections. So if you're new and you're struggling with objections or setting appointments, you can jump in there. Who can we write? I mean, this is a cool illustration that explains. Oh, by the way, can y'all see that? Are you seeing Stephen, are you seeing my attachments? Are you seeing these attachments there?
I see them.
Okay, cool. So who can we write? That gives us all a lot of protection and a lot of confidence that we can write almost anybody that we come across. Also, my illustration of coverage, remember, this is a great policy and it grows. And so I want all y'all to know that what you're providing people is a great engine. The engine in this car is very strong. So just know that it's got some cash value attached to it, some interest rates, some paid up. I'm not going to go on that today, but you're providing a very good policy for people. And I want you to know that. Downloading your apps. These are most of the apps in our territory here where you can jump in there and download them. Beat the Lead. You'll see a video on that. I mean, here's the thing is that on leads and people these days, here's the key. You find somebody, you talk to them, you write it down, and you follow up. You find somebody, you hit them with a phone call, you hit them with a text, you hit them with an email, you hit them with a door knock. We have to be persistent as agents. I'm just telling y'all these days, because the competition is out there. We have to hit them more times than they want to be hit. It takes 7 times to touch point somebody before they make a decision nearly. Okay. I'm just saying in this business, if you think you can call someone and they're going to, be ready, it's not going to happen that way all the time. Okay. It's like a peach tree. You hear my analogy. It's like a peach tree. They only come ripe every once in a while. Not all of them come ripe at the same time. But if you're not harvesting your peach tree every single day and seeing which ones are ripe, and or if you're picking them too early, commission breath, and they're not ready, it's still going to be raw and they're going to have cancellations. If you don't get back to them, they're going to fall on the ground. Another company's going to pick them up. And those are the ones that say, no, I already bought. So think about your peach tree. Those are the ones that you need to be harvesting right now and thinking about it. I know it's work, but hey, it's nice to get an $800-900 commission check. So is that. Okay. So also in here at the bottom, you've got our leads. We're not going to talk about that today, but leads are very important. We are constantly updating our lead opportunities. We have a lead store here where you can go in and start a new campaign, and or if you're in certain areas, you can look around to see if they're in there. My lead store is lagging behind. Okay, you can open these up and do this. So I'm going to leave that to this, is that when you write business, you earn lead credit, you earn free money to go shopping. I know ladies, there's a lot of ladies on this. I know y'all like to shop, but when you get this chance, let's talk about it. And let's talk about what you're doing with your lead credit and what you're shopping for. And I'll try my best to help you. Again, leads are not guaranteed. They're just people to talk to, but I want you to be able to do that. And then contacting the company, always keep this programmed into your phone, the number here to contact the company. We're going to be talking about it a little bit today due to when we do a web app. These are the numbers that you need to be calling to do a web app. And we just changed the web app to where you can call 24/7 now. Before it was you had to call during normal business hours to get somebody on the line to do the phone authorization or the phone verification. And now it's a 24-hour deal to where you answer a recording and you get your client to repeat some information into a recording. And once you get used to that, it's very easy. Okay. So I'm going to jump from that and jump over to, hey, Stephen, if you don't mind, would you shoot me a copy on the phone, the new recording, what information is needed of the client? Do you have that? You're on mute. So when you call into the recording, the 7 or 8 things that the recording asks from the client, the information needs to be.
You don't want the recording itself. You want the item, right?
The items, yeah.
Okay. Give me a minute.
So what we're going to do today is jump over to also. So you've got this right here. And one other thing I want you to look at, and I'm going to be sharpening this, but if you're brand new, I have one more tool that is good that I have to sharpen up on because some of the videos are old, not too old, just a little. But this is my new agent 7 steps to success. So it's called finaltraining.us. Okay, I'm gonna hit that too, finaltraining.us. So that's another good deal. I think every agent needs to go through this, and basically what it talks about is how do you navigate the portal, number 1? How do you order supplies, number 2? How do you write a policy with a paper app, a web app? Underwriting, height and weight, working your referrals, and branding yourself. And I think if you're brand new and you go through these 7 steps, again, I'm not trying to push you to a video, but again, if you have time and I'm not there, it sure is nice to be able to watch some of these things to get some information. So finaltraining.us, you're going to see some changes here and some upgrades here. So watch out for that coming down the pipeline. And it is your business. And I do believe if you watch some of these, you'll sharpen your skills, you'll sharpen your confidence level, and you'll be off to the races way ahead of the ball game with other people. Okay. So finaltraining.us, I challenge you to jump into there. finalexperiencedlife.us, that right there. Okay. So here we are. So I'm going to make sure we can share our screen again, and I'm going to jump over to our agent portal. And every one of y'all should have been able to have access to the agent portal. And your agent portal will look a little bit different than mine, but here is the agent portal, and you've got your statements up top. Remember, you've got your policy statuses right here, and you can easily go in there and see where your policy is once you write it, whether it's in pending or underwriting or what information the company might need. And then you have your new business. Remember, uploads here. When you write a paper application, and I had a paper application here, but just pretend that this is a paper application. But when you write a paper application, you're going to take it. Okay, well, here is an application. You're going to take it and take your paper application, either scan it with your scanner into your computer, okay, and then upload it right here from the scan, okay, or you're going to take it, and remember, if you have a phone, you can lay this application on the ground. You can take your phone right here and you click it and you take pictures of the application, cheek, 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 and then you're off to the races. It goes to the company, okay, and then it goes to the company. So 2 ways when you write a paper application to send it to the company: either upload it and or take a picture of it. So the company has made it really easy to do that. All right. So that is in the upload section, your rate calculator. That's really easy to use. Go in there and play around with those rates and take a look at them. That's good. So anyhow, so then we go down to the web application. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Stephen. We get down to the web application, and that's what we're going to be going through today. So I want to spend a little time. This is exactly like the paper application. And the good news is we are changing some of this. So you will see some updates coming down the pipeline, which is wonderful. But the telephone application, I want to just, repeat, can be used when you're in person with someone. If you want to, you sit there and type it out and then call the company, you're welcome to, if you like typing better than writing, or if you're over the phone with someone. Okay, so either or, okay, and I hope that makes sense there from either opportunity. So I'm going to jump in there real quick on the agent portal and go to the web app. So we're going to click right here on this one. And we're going to go into the agent web app. I've already actually got it open. I don't know why I clicked it again. And we're going to talk about this. So you're going to first of all tell the client, hey, do I agree right here, okay, that basically up here that we're going to ask you questions and you tell the truth. We're going to pull your medications to look at them and you're going to tell the truth. And are you Bill Jones? So this is the agreement and acknowledgement, and you can read it yourself. Most people don't read it to their clients, but anyway, that is the truth there. So I'm going to start typing here, and sometimes my computer acts crazy and fills in some stuff right here. But basically, you're going to take some names, Keelan D. Johnson. You do not have to have a middle initial if you don't want to. Okay, date of birth. So I'll put in the date of birth. And basically, you need to know the date of birth because here's the thing. The web application is only set up right now to take people from 40 to 90. Okay, this is our loyalty app. So it's 40 to 90. So if you get someone 39, right now you have to do the security care plan paper. Okay, now that is changing. Cross our fingers. We wanted it 7 months ago, but the Guardian plan will be coming out on this. So hang tight. Okay, hang tight. So this is our 40 to 90 application. Social Security. And here's what I suggest you do. When you get off here, here's your homework assignment. Go into the web application and do a web application for yourself. From the front, you can do it the first page, you can do it the second page, and get to the third page. In addition to that, I'm not saying you have to, because we're not all about just having to write yourself, but you might as well cover yourself. You might as well write yourself a policy. It's a free policy first year anyway. Listen, you get paid full commissions on it, and some of y'all will be making money on it. And so it's a free policy. Heaven forbid something happened to you. Your family's going to get that 10, 15, 20,000. Every time you make a premium payment on it, you get your commission check back. So it's a wash. And how are you going to be out there in the trenches with someone and they say, do you have a policy? Are you really going to say, no, I don't have a policy with this company? I mean, come on. Yes, I have a policy. It's right here in my briefcase. Here's the illustration. Matter of fact, if you want to look at my illustration, here's what the policy looks like. Here's the policy jacket looks like. I mean, how else are you going to do it? So let's get in there and cover ourselves and make sure we are an actual client of our own, okay, in a policy. But you didn't get in there. You're going to look at gender, height and weight makes a difference. Remember, you got to be within the height and weight guidelines here. You got to be in the height and weight guidelines, and also in the toolbox, back to the toolbox. If you jump over here, you can see right here very clearly, all you got to do is if you get into a pinch and you say you go over to somebody's house and you're like, wow, they're a little short for their weight. And so you're like, oh boy. So you get in there and you can clearly open this loyalty plan up really quick. And that's why I did it this quick, is to find these guidelines. So if you see right here, 5'5", okay, you can't be under 101 pounds, but you can be up to 251 and still get preferred standard day one coverage. You can be up to 284 and still get modified. Now, what happens if I go over 284? Okay, well, if you go over 284 at this point in time, right now, security care plan, you can go over here to 5'5" and go all the way up to 337 and get a security care plan. Remember, that's a paper application. And then if you're over 337, we do also have an option for you in what we call our MIB plan, So no matter the height and weight, there's nobody we can't write. It's just where they fall and whether they want that plan. But make sure because right here on the Agent Web application, it will kick you out if your height and weight is not right there. Okay, so now we can go up for myself. I'm young enough. We could go up to 50,000 with me if I wanted to. I'm going to choose 25,000 here. Actually, most policies we write are in the $12,000 to $15,000 coverage range. And remember, we can go all the way down to 2,500. So I agreed right here. Oh, look, I missed something. The state is required. Where is the client that I'm talking to? Not where Keelan is. Where's the client I'm talking to? Okay, because that is the state that you have to be licensed in. You have to be licensed in the state where the client is at. Now, if the client is from Pennsylvania, but they come to Texas to visit you, you're in good shape, Or if you go to Pennsylvania, you take some Texas sand and you stand on it. That's an old life insurance joke, it's where you take your sand and they step on it. But no, the client has to be in the state. Stephen, did you have anything to add there? You looked unmuted.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it doesn't matter where they live. It matters where they are.
Where they are, yeah.
That's where they're standing right now. So if they live in Ohio, but they're in Pennsylvania and you're in Texas, if you're licensed in Pennsylvania, you can write.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you plan on, you have some clients in other states, you might want to get licensed there, and we're fine. We're appointed in 42 states, so we're in good shape. And most all the regular ones, if you will.
That's right.
So we're right here. So we go to the next screen. So here we are. We're on the next screen. I'm gonna pinch it out or pinch it in or expand it, whatever you want to say. Now this is a secure app. So what does that mean? It means this is that when you get ready to go write this application, you probably better have the deal kind of sealed up. Don't get into this web app to just start your presentation because it's secure. It holds people's social security numbers, their date of birth, and their information. So it will time out, and it is to your client's advantage that happens. It's for their protection. Okay. So I want you to know what I always suggest doing is if you're going to write a web application for me, I gather as much information as I can on a paper one. And I also have a paper app on my desk next to me while I'm doing this web app. So when I ask Stephen, I say, hey, what's your social? I'll have an application over here and I'll write a social down with pen. That way, if I get screwed up, I don't have to go, what's your social again? What's your social again? Because that's kind of one of those questions that go, well, after the second time of asking date of birth or socials, we're good. Never mind. So I would just always take a paper application to the side and just scribble as much as you can down while you're taking the web app, because heaven forbid the internet goes down. And again, this is internet based. So if you're at somebody's house, that is always the key. If you only have one bar, good luck. I'm just saying, you need 3 or 4 bars, and you can't blame it on the company because it'll just spin and spin and spin. Because you got to understand, we're trying to send some information to a satellite that's sending an information from that satellite to Salt Lake City, Utah, which is processing it on a computer, turning it back around, sending it to that satellite back down to that house over in 401 County Road 132274. I mean, it's a little technology there. So going back and forth. So just make sure you have good coverage when you're doing this, and you'll be all right. The cool part about what I like on our web app is I can just put a 123 Main Street here in Georgetown, wherever it may be. Phone numbers. Again, it will pre-fill the zip code and the date of birth from the prior screen. Phone number right there, and then on your email address. You do not have to have an email address. The client does not have to have an email address. But if you want to put one there, you can. The communication would go back and forth. The company's not going to send them a bunch of trash email, but it's if there's a big question or a claim or whatever, that's their communication channel. But you can put none, NE at none.com. Lowry, did they change that to where you can just leave that blank altogether? Or do you have to put the none in there? Do you remember? Yeah, okay. So none.com, not N-U-N, that would be nuns. It would be none as in 0. So, what's cool about this process too is that when you get this next part, y'all all probably know this, but as you well know, there are 4 components to a policy. You've got your insured, which is whose life it's on. You've got your owner as to who owns the policy. You've got your payor who cuts the check, and you got your beneficiary who's going to receive the money. Now, a lot of times the insured is the owner, is the payor. So all 3 are together. So the beauty of it is if that case in point happens right here, you can toggle this over and it will fill it in. If I own my own policy, I can toggle, it'll fill it all in. So what I don't want you to do is sit there and go, oh God, dog, I got to scroll up here and write Keelan's information again. No, just toggle that back over and it will copy it. So that's the way our web app works, is in the orange and blue. But if somebody else wants to own it, if I want to own Stephen's policy, I can. If I want to own Stephen's policy, I can. Raul can pay for it, and Carolyn can be the beneficiary. It's okay. We just need some signatures, and we do need authorization. So be prepared for that. Okay, in those case and points. For this case in point, for speed, I'm going to toggle it back over, and I'm going to own my own policy. Again, if the payor is different, you can do that. And I want you to understand too on this, as a new agent and even as a tenured agent, we get caught up in these sales to where Pawpaw goes, well, I've been paying for this crap all my life, and I just put me in a box, and I don't have any money, and I don't care what they do. It's on them and whatever. We get that. It's an objection. And it's probably a true objection because he's just an old grumpy turd. And so sorry about the turd word, but anyway, he's just an old grumpy fart. But he's just out of the way. And so, our next question is like, hey, Grumpy Pawpaw, how about this? If you were to have a policy, or your tractor out there, or your dog out there, who are you going to leave it to? Who are you going to leave this stuff to? Well, that'd be my son, He's the one I said, perfect. When you pass away, Pawpaw, because you're gonna, whether you go and you can look up or down, which I know kind of, but anyways, whether you can look up or down, somebody's going to have to cut a check for this stuff. Somebody is going to have to come out of pocket for this stuff. Somebody's going to have to write the check for this. And it sounds like your son's going to have to do it, which is okay. I know that's what you want. How about let's do this? How about I talk to your son, see if he'd like to take out a policy to take care of his pocketbook. That way, when you pass away, there'll be enough money for the son to take care of this. Would that be okay? And sometimes I go, yeah, I ain't talking to myself. Well, then you just pack your bags up and go, nice knowing you. Out the door. Yeah. Or you go, okay, well, I'll talk to your son. Let's visit with him a little bit. Where's he at? Oh, he lives over there in town. So anyways, think about that as you go through these policies. Who's paying, who is going to be this, who is going to be that. I'm going to mute off. Okay. I didn't know if there's a question or a background. So sorry about that. So payor can be the same. So we're just going to toggle over and put me as the payor right on this policy here too. Beneficiaries, you do have to have a beneficiary no matter what. So go ahead and add your beneficiaries, whatever, and put your addresses in there, 123 Main, and the addresses, email address again, the relationship. So look at all the relationships we have. Again, we've got spouse, children, sibling, nephew, nieces, domestic partners, and others. So it can be any of that you want. Again, if you have more than one primary, remember, primary is going to get paid first, contingent gets paid next. So if the insured and the beneficiary are in a car wreck, then the contingent's going to get the money. Okay, so just think about that way. You can have as many primaries as you want, and they will, if you don't put anything down, if you have two primaries, they will just split it 50-50. If you have more than that and they want to split it some other way, just go ahead and add that, and then we'll put something in the notes. All right, so now we're down to the questions and the interviews of the question part. Okay, so I'm going to go through this, and again, we've got 12:05. Hang tight with me another 15 minutes. We'll be going through this, but I want you to know the questions, the way they kind of read, and what we're looking for, what the company's looking for. So it's, again, everything is toggled over to the yes, and we have to put no. So if you don't toggle it over, it is a yes. Okay, tobacco in the last 12 months. Have you had any form of tobacco in the last 12 months? Yes, no. That's a pretty simple question. Question number one here. I'm going to summarize it. I'm not going to, you can go in here, and that's your job to go in here and read it verbatim. But basically what it's saying is that in the past 30 days, have you been in a nursing or a hospital or stayed overnight? Have you stayed overnight in a facility in the last 30 days? If they have, it's not a deal breaker. You just got to wait till they have been out for 30 days to write the policy. Okay, so have you been in for the last 30 days? Nursing homes. Now, one caveat to this is that the new retirement homes that they have, the nice retirement homes, that's fine. That's not a nursing facility. That's not a full-time care facility. Okay, but you can be in the retirement home. As long as you're not getting assistance, you're just there to go and watch movies and eat free dinner. So that's the case in point a lot these days. So no. Number two, have you been diagnosed as being terminally ill in the last 12 months? No. Mr. Jones, okay. Have you had a seizure in the last 30 days? So if you've got a notepad, I want you to write something down here. So what we've got here is we've got seizures. So if you've got seizures in the last 30 days, okay, seizures in the last 30 days, okay, that is overall a knockout. Okay, so we have a seizure question in here, and you're going to see a couple more seizure questions coming up, kind of like the cancer question. Okay, so seizures. Have you had a seizure in the last 30 days? That's a knockout. We got to wait till you haven't had one in the last 30 days. And we'll get on to the next part of that in just a minute. But think about that one right now. Do you need assistance? Dressing, eating, personal hygiene. Now, this is not, hey, my kids come over and bring me dinner, and then they take me to the Walmart and whatever. This is, hey, can you not do this? Can you not put your clothes on? You know, do you need help washing yourself? Yes or no? Those are basically the daily activities of life. There might be a little gray area in there, but if there is, let's talk to an underwriter about that. Okay. Next question, let's talk about cancers. Again, this is going to be one I want you to think about because you've got cancers within 90 days, cancer within 2 years. Okay, so if you have cancer or you have been cancer free for less than 90 days. So the key here is 90 cancer. Okay, then it's a decline. We just got to wait till they've been cancer free for 90 days, except for skin cancer. Okay, skin cancer is fine. You know, we're not worried about that one. And then this one too, it gets a little tricky here. So we've got to do a little bit of thinking here. The hepatitis C. So we have been able to come up with an opportunity to cover hepatitis C people. I don't know how that affects you and your demographics or wherever you're at, but you might run across it sometime. So let's read this one closely. Within the past 6 months, have you been diagnosed or treated by a licensed member of medical profession for hepatitis C? So have you been treated in the last 6 months and or diagnosed? Or has it been less than 90 days since completing the hepatitis C? So there are treatments for hepatitis C, and you're going to see it coming over here in section 2. Okay, on the hepatitis C, I'm sorry, section 3 down in here on the hepatitis C. Where is my hepatitis C on here? Jumping over here, COPD, hepatitis C, diabetic neuropathy. Anyways, I'm going to get to it. So hepatitis C over here, have you been treated for it less than 90 days? Okay, so talking about hepatitis C, there is a drug called Harvoni that we're able to use now to be able to get through hepatitis C. So keep that one in mind if you got the hepatitis C question. Alzheimer's and dementia, yes or no? Again, if you have Alzheimer's and dementia, you're going to be jumping over to our MIB plan. We can protect it, but your dialysis, you know, and hepatitis C and stuff is going to be MIB plan. So if you run across that, that will be a paper application. It works a little bit differently, and we can get into that in another training, but we can cover those people. So don't just stop there and go, nah, all right, we're done, deal done. You know, we can do you can do an MIB plan. And then are you receiving dialysis? Same thing. And then our HIV question, yes or no. Okay. Section 2, this is very tricky, and Stephen and I shake our head when we look at this because it needs to be changed, but just think about it this way. We have opened up underwriting to where anybody that is taking, you know, insulin, less than 100 units of insulin, and they weren't a diabetic before age of 40, but they're taking less than 100 units of insulin, we can write them preferred. Okay, we can write them in the preferred category. So when you talk about insulin, you talk about diabetics, just be prepared to think about it for a second, because this question is actually wrong and we're getting it changed. What it should say is that, do you use between 100 and 121 units? So just think about, you know, again, insulin under 100 could fit, may fit into our preferred category. 100 to 121 fit into our standard. Now, section 2 is our standard. So remember, our goal is to get you a preferred policy. Day 1 coverage, automatic, you know, you're preferred, you're good to go. Our second goal is to get you a standard plan. That's day 1 coverage, automatic. And we as a company have moved some of our opportunities from what we call modified, which is section 3. And to keep it simple, don't think about modified as a waiting period, because people don't like that word wait. Think of it as this: Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you know, you've got you know, you're on blood thinners and you got this going on and that going on. We can get you a plan. It's great, because what happens is, if anything happens to you in the first 2 years, non-accident wise, we're going to give your beneficiary all the money that you put in, plus we're going to give them additional 10%. If you pass away in an accident, we got full face amount, so don't worry about that. You're in good shape. You're going to make it 2 years easily past that deal. So if you keep it simple like that, without going, well, you got to wait for 2 years to get paid, Figuring out what, because the rest of the companies got that too. I mean, it's the same as the rest of the companies, if not even better than those. Okay, so don't think about it that way. But let's look at units of insulin. So our question is, remember, 0 to 1, 100 to 121 is right here, and then 121 above is above. All right. So the next one right here, has the proposed insured been diagnosed, tested positive for any of the medical conditions? So seizures, remember we talked about seizures. If you've had one within the last 30 days, we can't write you. But good news, if you had a seizure over 2 years ago, we can write you in preferred. Okay, because this is epilepsies and seizures and have not had a seizure in over 2 years. Okay, you would answer yes here and get a preferred. Okay, but remember, if it's been under 2 years, we have to go no. Okay, we have to go no. So think about your 2-year window there. Diabetic neuropathy. This is a drug we call gabapentin. You're going to run across gabapentin. I don't want to get too tied up in technical terms here, but you know, as you go through the prescription guide, you'll understand. But just gabapentin comes up a lot. Okay, so gabapentin comes up a lot, and diabetic neuropathy, and that will go standard. So we like that option because it used to be down into the modified world, and we've moved it up here. So think about those questions. Diabetic neuropathy. And then this is a beauty here too. We have moved COPD out of modified range up to standard range. Okay, so the company is trying to give you more options to have day one coverage, which is beautiful, you know, in these policies. So here's the thing: if you've got someone who has COPD but they're not on oxygen and they're not smokers within the last 12 months, we can put a yes there and get them standard. Okay, so I'm going to toggle it back over to no. So really just get in your helicopter and think about these questions in this section. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you take insulin. Have you had seizures? Do you have neuropathy or COPD? And if they're like, no, then you just rock and roll through those questions, okay? And then our last section here, which I want you to kind of focus on and think about a couple of things here. We do ask a 2-year question here, but the goal here is to think about this. Within the last 2 years, have you been tested for or treated? Or in the last 2 years, have you taken medication? For example, okay, if I had a heart valve surgery here, okay, and I'm still on blood thinners, which here's the good news, and I'll show you in a second about this. Some blood thinners we can write up into our higher categories, but other blood thinners, Coumadin and warfarin, we still can do modified, which is beautiful. But just think about it again. I'm going to rewind. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you know, Lowry, have you had a heart attack 7 years ago? Yes, I did. What blood thinners are you still taking for it? Okay, so even though it happened longer than 2 years ago, we're still going to ask the question, hey, listen, are you still taking that medicine? Okay, I like to think about it I like to think about it as a stick figure, you know, the old stick figures. And I like to think about it, Mr. Jones, you know, how's your head? How's your lungs? How's your liver? How's your stomach? How's your skins? How's your bones? Anything I need to know about in those areas? You know, any cancers? And they'll pretty much tell you. They like to talk about it, believe me. But I'm just going to ask right here about your heart. You know, bypasses, angioplasty, stents. And here's the good news too. Here's the optimism: is that we can listen. I could have had a heart valve surgery. I could have had cancer, prostate cancer 3 years ago. And I could have had a mini stroke and still get a modified policy. You can have 3 of these answered yes. Okay. Once you go to the 4th, it kicks you out. So just think about the optimism there when you're talking to people and you're out in the mall, whatever. Well, you can't write me because I got COPD and I'm on metformin and well, I've got neuropathy too. Oh, really? I can't write you? No, actually, I can write you day one coverage. When are we going to talk? You know, so that optimism has to be portrayed with you, and knowing, you know, these things is where you start with the sale. If you don't know these things and you go out there in the mall and somebody says, "What do? You work for Saturday Night Live?" Yeah. And so you're out there and you're doing that, and they go, "Well, I don't know if you can cover me." And you go, "Well, what's wrong?" "Well, I got this, and this, and I was in a car wreck and had amputation." Nobody covers amputation, you know. I was like, if you say this, you go, Well, I'd like to set up an appointment to come over and see if we can even write these things. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I already know. But if you say no, we can write it day one coverage. I'm coming over to talk to y'all because we're one of the companies that very few companies will do that. He's like, really? Like, yeah, don't you want a policy? And the wife walks over there and goes, yeah, you're getting a damn policy. Hurry up, put my name on it. And so I was just like, but anyways, think about these things. Okay. Here's your heart. Talking about that. Remember, we talked about cancer. Remember, if it's been less than 90 days, we go, and it's a kick out. 90 to 2 years. Say I had prostate cancer and it was cured a year ago. Yes, I had prostate cancer right here. I was cancer free in February of last year. Sweet, I can get a policy. If it's been over 2 years, I've been cancer free, I can hit no on that puppy and I can get a preferred policy. Okay, so look at me when I say this. 0 to 90, 90 to 2 years, and then 2 years on. Think about those in chunks, okay? In chunks there when you're asking those questions. Brain disorders, TIA, mini strokes. That's pretty self-explanatory. Again, heart problems right here. This comes into your, you've got, your arrhythmia and things, another heart. Lung diseases, COPD. Remember, if up here in the standard COPD, if they're not on oxygen and they haven't been smoking, we can put them up here. But if they are on oxygen and they have been smoking, then we got to put them down here. Kidney failure. We write people with kidney failure, kidney disease. The kicker on kidney is you can't be on a transplant list and you can't be on dialysis. Okay. But if they haven't, if they're not on that yet, then you can write them here in the modified. Diabetes right here with complications, right? Because remember, we got our 0 to 100 units and we got our 100 to 121. We'll go up in standard. And now we're going 121 and more. So you got to think about those chunks of opportunity here in insulin, 0 to 100, 100 to 121, 121 and over, and or if they had it prior to the age, okay, prior to the age of 40. I skipped the most important. That's why I was looking for it a while ago, is that if you have completed the hepatitis C treatment, okay, so hepatitis C treatment right here comes into play because we do have they do have a drug called Harvoni. So you may want to write that down, Harvoni, that now can come in and cure hepatitis C. So we're giving you the benefit of the doubt. And if you have had hepatitis C treatment, you can get a modified policy with this. Okay, that would be a yes. So think about that too when you're dealing with hepatitis C. Again, if you need help on that for the first couple policies, we can work on it, and call me and let me know. Parkinson's, Down syndrome. And again, remember we had our seizure question. Seizures is coming up again. Remember, if you've had a seizure in the last 30 days, remember that chunk. We're going decline. The seizure over 30 days, less than 2 years, standard. Seizures past 2 years, we're going preferred. Okay, so that's a good news. Paranoia, schizophrenia, major depressive disorder. Okay, that's where this comes into play. Have you been advised to have a surgery or treatment that you didn't have? Keelan, you need to go out. You need to go and have your left kidney taken out or something, whatever. And then right here, have you been into a medical facility for alcohol or drugs? Not did you drink a beer last night, but have you been in a treatment facility right here in the last 2 years for this? No. And remember, here's the cool part about it is, for y'all know, we don't look at any criminal history. It doesn't come into play in our policy. We don't look at criminal history. So as long as when you walk outside that jail cell and into the yard, and you're done, we can write you a policy. We can't write it inside. We can write it when you come outside into the grass. But, and then right here, I want to read this real closely because this gets a little blurry, and we've changed this to make it a lot easier for you as an agent for your client. Are you dependent? Before it goes, do you use a medical appliance, wheelchair, walker, hospital bed, or oxygen? My father, bless his heart, he's in the hospital right now and not doing too well, but he likes, he's been using a walker some, and just when he gets tired. So, but that's not dependent. He can still walk on his own. So when you talk to people and you go, well, when I go to the mall, I use a wheelchair because it's a long ways. Oh, that's cool. Or do you use it every time you get out of bed? No, I walk them home. And then this last question here is really important. Amputation. We used to use amputation no matter what. There's a decline, but now, do you have an amputation due to an illness or disease? That's a yes. If there's an amputation due to a car wreck or an accident, then you put no. And that's good because we can get them a preferred policy. But if it is amputation due to an illness, it's pretty much diabetes, then that is a yes. So when you look at this and you scroll down, look at all the things that take this as an opportunity to do this. When you look at section 3, I don't want you to look at it like, man, y'all are looking for a lot of things in this. You're looking for a lot of things. No, I want you to look at it like this. Look at all the things that we can cover. Look at the things we can cover. Take this application right now that you're seeing on things we're looking for as an opportunity to write people. As an opportunity to write people. Listen, modified is still a good policy for people. It still covers them really well. And these people got some issues too, and they're going to be either declined in other companies, period, the end, or they're going to be modified too. Okay. Or they're going to be modified too. And we have put a lot of things up into the standard category that are good. Okay. So jump through those medications. And this is why I try to do this for you for your phone. And if you like a hard copy, go ahead. But when you go in here, your medications, you can scroll here. One cool thing I want to show you too on your phone, you can do it and on your computer. If you go in here and you pull up a medication guide like this, and you have this My Computer or any computers, if you have PDF reader, you can go to this little magnifying glass up here. You see that? I'm going to open it up and I'm going to type amlodipine. A-M. I'm just going to start typing it. L-O-D. Oh, look, I got the Amlod and it pulled it up right here under amlodipine. So you already know, oh, amlodipine for high blood pressure is preferred. If they've got angina, that's modified. Okay, and you can do that with anything. You can even put that into type in heart, and it will come up. Heart's in our deal a lot, but it will come up over here. See on the right side where you see how many heart conditions are in there. But it will heart failure. So I want you to have this on your phone, on your tablet at all times, so that you can really be quick. And in the future, cross our fingers, we want these things to pull up and to where you can just go ahead and start typing and it pulls up. So put the reason, put the dosage, and then how many times a day, and then hit save. It'll save it for you. And you can put as many as you want in there. Primary physician, you don't have to have, so you can skip that or put that in there. And then your banking information. So you've got to put your banking information in there and your routing number and the face amount. So if you put a banking information, banking address in there, an account number, I am going to put a routing number in there just so we can get to the next page real quick. 15,000 riders for brand new people. Remember, we can do riders. If you've got a $15,000 policy, you can add a $15,000 rider on top of that. It doesn't add that much money into the policy, maybe $3 or $4 or $5. But here's the thing, you can sell it to the people. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you've got a $15,000 policy here, but if something happens to you in an accident, you got 30,000. You got 30 in that puppy. So you can sell it. I always suggest that when you get people in the 40 to 75, 65, most of the time, if they do pass away, it probably is going to be from an accident. So you might as well double them up. You get people in their 65, you get into a premium issue. Now maybe look at it, see if $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 matters. So you can do that at your own discretion. And then face amount, you can put kids on there up to $10,000. You normally don't use the child rider that much because most of the people that we write, their kids are already 18 and above and out of the house. So child rider only applies to people under 18, and it only stays on the policy till you're 25. So if you find somebody, a young parent, is in their 40s and they got some kiddos in the teens or younger, and they want to add it on there, that's fine. Just remember that rider goes away if something happens to them. But it could be good if something happens tragic, with the family. So be thinking about that as you move forward. I'm going to take these off. And then billing option. Really be cognizant when you're doing the billing. And because here's the thing, we want to be able to draft the money when the client gets paid. So if the client most of the time is on Social Security, they get paid the second, third, or fourth Wednesday. And we are a true billing company on that. So if they're counting on their Social Security check, okay, and they're counting on that, then we want to really hit their bank when they get paid the second, third, or fourth Wednesday. So we need to ask that question and be diligent about it on that. If they don't, if they just want a day of the week, then go ahead and change that. And then we're going to, you know, what day of the week would you like? Now, be careful here. There's two-part question. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, when we put this policy in, today is June the 21st. When I put this policy into play, do you have the money in your account and do you want it to start immediately? Because we would like to do that for you. Yeah, there's money in the account. Let's start immediately. Okay, cool. Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, moving forward, when do you want your next bill due? When do you normally get your money, or when do you normally get paid? You know, on that. If it's not the second, third, or fifth, that sometimes they'll say the fifth. Just go in here and move it over to the fifth. Not to get too complicated with this, but there's a 24-day window there. In this case in point, you should be good most of the time in here, where it's 6 and 5. So what's going to happen? They're going to bill the policy that $40 now on the 22nd of June. And then at July 5th rolls around, that's less than 24 days. So they're going to wait till August to get to bill again. So just be cognizant about that. Again, if they don't have the money in there, just hit no. I get paid on the 5th. And then the first draft will come out on 7/5. Okay, will come out on 7/5. So think about their billing. Ask it two different ways. Do you want it effective immediately? And then when do you want your future payments? If you don't have the money in there, when do you want it to start? This one right here they've kind of fixed it, but basically this is not asking, hey, do you have any more life insurance? This is asking, are you replacing anything? Okay, so this is clearly a replacement. No, I don't have anything to replace. Most of the time, I just say, you know, hey, let's get your policy into play. Make sure you like it. Make sure that you're comfortable with it. Make sure the premium is good, and then we can cancel your other one. That's just me. I'd rather them have double coverage for a second or two versus nothing at all. So and plus you don't have to go through all the replacement forms and notify the other company. If you do, then you have to go and do replacement form and do that stuff. Be cognizant here. Is the proposed insured a family member? No or yes. You can write yourself again, your husband, wife, and your kids. You will get paid on it full commission. It will be as earned, and as earned. Okay, so that's what that will be. And then right here, I am going to sign this right here, and Keelan is going to put his name there, and I'm not going to split the commission. And then
Keelan, can I interrupt you, please?
Go for it.
I need everybody to write this down. 107-2345. That's my agent number. So if you need to split commissions with somebody, feel free to split it with me.
Mute all. No, mute all. Mine's 107-3405. I'll give you mine, but anyway, not Stevenson. So we jump through here, and then this is just a city that the client is in, whatever city that's in, and then you hit submit. So when I hit submit, it's going to go through here, and it's going to check me out and make sure I did all this correct, okay, and make sure I did all this correct, and it's going to come back in here, and it's going to say this: based upon your answering all the questions, no, you get preferred. Now, again, when you send it to the company, they're going to pull up the medication list, and it could be 38,000 long. We know people fib. But anyhow, it's going to give you the premium here. You're going to calculate. What's cool about this, too, is if you get a premium in here, people are like, it's too high. You can go in here and adjust this at the last second and hit calculate premium and go back in there and put, it'll adjust it for you. If you have any notifications here, like if you need a Spanish speaking authorization, you can do that. You can actually do it on the other line, but if you have any like extra beneficiaries or whatever, you do that and you hit accept. I'm not going to hit accept there because it's going to send it through, but you can practice. You can get all the way to this page and then hit and then the withdraw application, and you can be fine and jump back out here and withdraw your application. Also, if you know it right up here, new business, if you jump into these three buttons here, you can look at your submitted telesales applications, and I strongly suggest you do this. Print out all of your applications. Okay, print out when you get through, go in here and look at your application and print it off on a PDF, keep it in a file, or at least print it to a file where you have it and you have a list of your clients. Okay, very important that you get that done, and you send it to the company. And then at that point in time, you're going to call the 1-800 number here, right here, and it's a home office number. You're going to enter option 1, and then you're going to have the option after that to select whether you want a recorded voice or you want live. Now, some of the things that what I was asking Stephen about before to send me, so I'll send this out too, and you can get a list of it. If you can see that there are 7, 8, 9 or 10 things that the client needs when you do it. When you go in and you do the voice recorded authorization, the client will need to repeat these things. So be prepared that the client will need to repeat right here their name. They're going to have to repeat whether they're the owner or payor. They're going to have to complete or repeat their last 4 of their social, okay, their date of birth, their height, their weight, their mailing address, and whether they agree, the city and state, the bank name and the bank account number, and whether it's a checking account, and the last 4 digits. So when you're going through this, and if you're getting ready to, and I'll send this out later today in a form of an email, the things that you will need on that voice recording, to where you'll just got to need to prep up the client a little bit and get them ready to answer these questions if you're doing the voice recording. Because if they're old and they're like, and it's just like TV's on and Jeopardy's in the background a lot, and they can't, it's kind of tough. You may need a live person to go, to talk to. If they're okay with all this, you can do the voice recording and clip through it. Okay. So don't be scared. It will happen and it'll be fine. It's better to kind of prep the client to go, okay, you've got your name, your socials, get your checking account out, your information out here, and this is what you're going to need to tell them, okay, on the voice recording. Okay. So that's very important if you want to do stuff after the hours or after 5 or on the weekends. Okay, so 2 options. All right. So today I just wanted to jump through the agent web application. Remember, we want to make it simple for you. You're going to see some things coming down the pipeline in the next 1, 2, 3 months. They're going to make it a lot easier for you. We want the user experience to be easy for you. But first and foremost, I need you to practice. Practice makes perfect. I need you to go in there, practice on yourself, practice on your clients. And I also want to tell you, everybody that's on your phone, every family member you have is going to die one day too. So I'm not saying don't protect your family. They need it. Listen, 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 a day. Okay. In the future, what we're building for you is going to look great. We're building pipelines for you. I am in progress of building a pipeline company so we can, or get a pipeline company. So all you got to do is put names, numbers, emails. Hey, I need to call them back here, and that pipeline company will automatically notify you when we need to call Carolyn back, when we call Tom, when we call Raul, when we call Stephen back. That's very important, as you move forward, confidence that you can go look for 5 people, that you can also put those 5 people in your pipeline, and that will come out in the end in the form of a sale or a no, one of the 2. It goes in there and it gets processed, a sale or a no, and we keep filling that puppy up. And then one day you wake up 5 months later and you've got 38 people to talk to that said no the first time, but dadgummit, I got to process a second time. I'll tell you a little story. My son, he wanted a summertime job. So he went out, I've got a power washer. It's a 3100 PSI, like a Ryobi power washer. And I washed the driveway and the sidewalk. And then we did a test one on the next door neighbor. Carolyn knows him over here. And we washed it. You would imagine the difference in these sidewalks when they're black, and then you power wash them with this nice disc and this nice professional tool. Well, he wanted a job, and I said, well, why don't you power wash? He goes, well, I don't know how to get clients. I said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a before and after picture. We're going to have you out there doing it, and then we're going to produce a flyer. And I said, what do you want your name to be? And he said, B. Johnson Power Washing, and some rates on there. And I said, he goes, well, what am I going to do? I said, we're going to send these over to Best Buy. I mean, not Best Buy, Office Supply. and then you're going to go hand them out and you go talk to people. You go, well, I don't know if I know how to do that. I said, well, you're going to have to learn, and door to door. And so long story short, he's done, in the last 2 weeks, he's done 7 power washing jobs at $150 to $200 a piece. He went out the day before yesterday, handed out 8 flyers, got a sale, and 9 maybes. He went out yesterday, he's getting better, and threw out 5 flyers and made a sale, and today. So he's going out there and doing that door to door. And I say, not to say we all have to go out there door to door heat. People still accept that. People still want you to do that. People still want you to ask, and people are still looking for trustworthy people that can look them in the eye and go, hey, my name is Boston Johnson. I play football around here, but I will do a good job for you, and I will take care of you, and I will serve you. And it still works today, even in our, and he's only gone to 2 blocks around here. He didn't even hit the whole Georgetown area. So I say that to say this, I'm proud of him, and, I'm proud of y'all. So thank you for jumping on here. Stephen, do you have any closing words before I lock us down? I'm an hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah, just really quickly, thank you for letting me be here. It's good for me to watch how you do it so I can learn something, get to meet your people. Y'all are all in the right place. I'm here to tell you, you're in the right place with Keelan Johnson. You're in the right place with Security National Life. You could not ask for a better leader than the one you've got. So go sell some insurance.
Man, you made me cry.
Yeah, come on.
I owe you dinner or something. That was awesome. Now, Stephen and I are passionate, and we wouldn't be in this job, I promise. We weren't passionate about helping people and serving people. Remember a couple of things. As we get older, and you're going to be on the front pew, or you're going to be on the back pew. Are you a servant, or are you a salesperson? What are you? Hey, 1 year goes by, 2 years goes by. What's your number? What is your number at the end of 2023? How many families are you going to protect? That's the key. How many funerals are you going to go to, and how many families? Because you have the right product to be the protector. You have the right product to love on people, and you have the right company to do it with. Okay. So all I need you to do is go out and be yourself, be branded, be positive, and love on people. Put them in your pipeline, and it will work. So anything else you need, you holler at me. I'm always here for you, one way or the other. Stephen, thank you for jumping on here. Couldn't ask for a better friend and leader. Hey, and as we always say in Texas, stay cool, and adios.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Stephen.
You bet. Y'all have a great one.